Hey, my name is Dmitry from FlexRC, and today I'm going to take this one and convert it into Ascent 2.5 inch. So we will start by opening the box, and in the box we have a fairly cute tiny model. Check this out. It's probably fairly weak. You see it has these cutouts, and I'm afraid that I can break it, but it has been designed to be really light. Also in the box we've got a battery. I may try it a bit later. Strap, sticker here, and even a tool. Check this out. It even comes with the tool. This is what I like. It's some cheap props as well. I don't care about this stuff as much. What we're going to do now, I'm going to use the wow stick, which I showed you recently, and disassemble this guy. That will be our first step. So I have a bit for M2. If you do this kind of disassembly, first try to loosen it up, because otherwise the head of the screw is kind of crappy, and it has too much torque and speed, this wow stick. So if it's not loosened, it will just destroy the screw, because the screw is not a good quality. It also has this all-in-one camera. We'll see if we can install it as well, or if we have to upgrade it to a better camera with the better VTX. We've got top plate out, and as a next step, I think I'm not going to use LEDs, and I don't really have a mount for it, so it's not something that important for me. So I'm just going to unplug it for now. We'll see what we're going to do with this stuff later. As next step, I'm just going to remove props, because these props will just stay in the way of me moving the parts. They're going to create lots of mess. By the way, I really like how they made these motor wires of different colors. It's nice. Screws are popping out like they were not even there. Okay, so it's pretty much ready to be moved. So I think what I will do first, I think I will start with unscrewing motors. Wow, stick is doing its job fairly well. So we're going to remove all the screws right now. Where was I? I was over here. So again, the first twist you rather do with the hand, like that, and then it just goes out. Very convenient, much faster. I think it's much faster than if I was doing it with my hands. With wow stick, you should be able to do your job much easier and faster, essentially more efficiently. Will it work or it won't? What do you think? You can start leaving comments to this video while you're watching it with what you think. If is it going to be a fail or success? But I hope this guide is actually going to be useful for you rather than not useful. As well, it's fun, right? I honestly enjoy watching some channels when they do stuff like disassemble or assemble stuff. It's lots of fun. Okay, so check this out. We've got stuff. That was fast, right? It's very simple job to remove it all. The question about what we're going to do with the camera, I think for now I'm just going to disconnect it like that, and next step will be to install it into Ascent 2.5 inch. So we've got base plate and side placed. The logo is nicely engraved at the bottom, and the frame is fairly tough actually. Not too many people ever break them. Obviously it's not unbreakable, so I am not going to make claims like this. Okay, a bit of a challenge here because the wires, they're kind of short, so I may have to actually extend them a little bit. Should be fun still. I really enjoy Ascent. I really enjoy how light it is, and it's very strong design. With the X layout, it flies very nicely. So okay, we put one screw, another one we will put diagonally over here in order just for it to stay, and see how complicated it's going to be for me to move it. Okay, let's see. Alright, so just a little bit, not enough, so let's do like that then. We are going to quickly unsolder the stuff, install the motors, and build it. I use small extension wires. Alright, so I've got everything I need. I will need tweezers, I will need these cutters, and a bit of extension wire I'm going to use for this task. And I'm also using this, I think it's TS100. It's a really awesome soldering iron. I love it. It's probably one of the best investments you can do if you are doing soldering kind of jobs. So we will heat it up. Check it out. What I like, it heats up so fast, and it displays the temperature. I also like it if you forget about it, which happens to me a lot. Say you work, you left to have a cup of coffee, instead of just staying hot, it's going to reduce the temperature and then eventually shut off by itself. So it's already hot, super quick, isn't it? And then we will start with removing wires. It's really easy, just one by one. We'll have to try to remember black, yellow, red, the order of it. Okay, it's gone. Now let's put it here and quickly reinstall the motor so we can see what kind of extension we will need in order to do it. And again, like, I mean, if you are not into these kind of challenges, which I personally enjoy, you can just do similar kind of upgrade to 2-inch frame like Ascent X 2-inch. It will work much easier than that. Okay, so this motor is tight. Okay, nicely installed. And you know what I'm thinking? From what I can see, when I undone it, it may actually be long enough to work without the extension. Check this out. So they all start from black. So black is definitely long enough. I won't even need the extension for this wire. Sweet. It will be much better in this case. Okay, so let's do like that. I will solder this wire back, and it's just long enough, not a problem at all. Next one goes yellow. Let's see, let's add a bit of solder over here. It's a bit of Spartan setup, because I didn't plan to do any kind of soldering in this case, but so I don't have everything to do the job easier. Okay, it's a bit stretched, not too much though. I think it's fine. So for that one I will reuse actually the piece we've made. Okay, we added a bit of solder, and now we are going to solder the well, guys, I'm actually very excited because I won't have to extend them all. Hopefully it will be the same for others. If you can use the red wire as well, the similar width, then you won't have to have the differences in color at all. Alright, so I've got one wire nicely soldered or extended, we shall say, and it should work fairly well in this case. And we are going to do the second motor right now. It should probably go even faster than first one. So for that one, check this out, what I'm going to do. I'm going to do like that. I'm going to unwrap it essentially and see, you know what, maybe it will stretch. Maybe it will stretch and I won't even have to do it. Just a little bit not enough, and mostly because of the red wire. So again, like in the previous case, but more efficiently, I am going to remove just the red wire right now. And let's see. Let's see if it actually works as I expect it to be. Yay! Check this out. It aligns fairly well. So I'm going to get the screw and install it right now. I hope the video editing won't be too tough for this video, since we have so many minutes of footage, like from top and from the front. It's might be a bit of the challenge, but you know, the fun kind of challenge. Okay, nicely done. Let's extend this one. Same idea. I'm just going to tint the wire a little bit in order to extend it. And then we'll have just one motor left. Yay! So cool. Okay, it's already almost done. Let's do it now. Okay, it's in, nice and tight. Same idea, we're going to cut it approximately like that. I see the length just enough. We will expose the wire carefully, like that. Then we will tint it like we just seen before. And we are going to solder it back. All right, so it's back in. Seems all right to me. Okay, all wires nicely along the arms. So now we're going to unwind this motor and again unsolder the red wire like that. We will quickly screw motor back in with our magic wow stick. Okay, next one will be again to exposing the wire, quickly tinting it. Now at least you know the challenges that you may face when you try to upgrade 2-inch to 2.5-inch. It's kind of expected, you know, they are trying usually to make wires shorter in order for build to be lighter, but my personal opinion is just allow a little bit of length left. You can always wrap the wires nicely. Okay, check this out. So we've got here all the wires. I've got the tape, and you know what you can use? Actually, you can pre-install before you do these manipulations with with the wires and such. You can actually use heat shrink just to make it look a little bit nicer. But even like that, it won't be too bad. So just wrap slightly like this. Then we can use same kind of cutters, and it becomes already more like a final product looking setup. And just a little bit over here, you just wrap it. And one more thing I see, they're using GST connector. I'm thinking that perhaps we should upgrade it to XT30 connector, which is also not too challenging to do, but we can actually do it a bit later. It's not super critical, and I have some 2S batteries, and this is what I'm intended to fly with. I'm not going to use 3S batteries with this setup because these motors will draw too much amps, and I'm a bit concerned about the speed controlling being able to handle this kind of load. All right, so next step, almost the final step, guys. We are going to install side plates. The way you do it usually is you can kind of go like that, so it will go inside, and then like this, you see. Then you will put here like this and try to push it inside as much as you can. After that, you just take this piece like that, and here, it's inside, that's it. It's pretty much installed. Then next, we're going to repeat the same step. So we are wrapping it like this. We are aligning it and inserting it into the cutout over here, just a little bit like this. And then we will stretch it slightly and do like this, and everything is nicely installed inside. Since we're at it, we may actually, I think, reuse, are they the same height? They seem to be the same height. I can actually reuse these standoffs. And it's exactly the same number of standoffs that you need to assemble Ascent. Oop. Okay, almost. They're just a bit of the challenge aligning them. So fast, so nice, because it's so easy. Usually you have to do like this. In this case, I don't have to do any kind of movements like this. I just align it, and that's it. Check it out. It's so easy, so easy. And in case we will want to upgrade to another camera, which we can actually after the flight test, might be another video as well, since it's taking quite a bit of time to do it all for one video. It still has plenty of space on top, so this can go kind of on top, and underneath can be a video transmitter, or maybe a video transmitter can go on top, depending which video transmitter we are going to use for the upgrade. But for the sake of this video, we're just going to reuse the part as is. So in case you don't want to spend money to buy more electronics, everything is intact, why not to just keep using what you have, right? Okay, with this part it will be a bit more challenging because the motor is okay, so I did it like that, and just last screw is going in, and it's going to be pretty much it. You know what, I think this tool, it had actually longer bits, So if you have a motor like that standing in the way or something, it will actually, but it's okay, I can kind of spin like this, a bit at the angle. Normally you will just have to do it a bit differently. Okay. We've got pretty much everything installed other than the camera. I printed the camera mount. Check this out. This is a very tiny piece of plastic. And what we are going to do is insert this camera into the camera mount. It's done like that. Oppa, you see, it's very easy. Then we're going to put it just like here. We will align the screw with the hole inside of the camera mount and use our wow stick in order to install it. Okay, guess it's almost installed. What I'm going to do now is try to align the screw so it will be straight. Okay, and then from this side as well. Same idea. Oops. I'm wondering what's the angle of this camera, if it's going to show carbon fiber or it won't show it. We will see it in a moment. Alright, so lift it just like this, and as a last step we will reinsert the wire over here. I'll just tuck it in like that. Ideally you can pull the wire through inside over here and then take it out so it will be out of the props. Alright, so I think it should be fine. What do you think? I think it's fine. Now let's open our props and install them. Let's get it out of the way. So this prop with the current setup is going over here. We'll take the 7mm screw and screw it to the motor. Check this out. Okay, now it's nicely screwed in, and then make sure to use both screws, otherwise you are going to get terrible vibrations with this kind of mount. I actually seen some people, they use just one screw because it feels like enough, but when you fly, because of the air pressure over here, it actually shifts it a little bit, kind of lifts it a little bit, and then it creates vibrations and you won't be able to fly. Okay, we are almost done. It wasn't that complicated, right? It's just pretty much unscrewing stuff. You will have to resolder two wires. These like really inner wires, because they're all cut to the same length. It's just this place, it's slightly shorter because of that. Other than that, it seems to fit fairly well. I can help it a little bit with my hand. You know, what is good, it can also work as a manual screwdriver, and we will just tighten it down. Alright, so let's validate one more time. We have this blade going up, this blade going up, like this, up, like that, up. It seems to me to be correctly installed. So once again, check out this beauty. It looks very nice, looks very light. How about we'll put it on the scales and see what's its weight. Okay, so we have the scales here, and here's the moment of truth. The weight is 68.5 grams. Not too bad for 2.5 inch, isn't it? Then I also got these batteries, 452S. It's like 28 grams, pretty much the half of the drone. 800 milliamps. This is 34 gram. 350 also. Oh, it's 33. Check it out. This is these two batteries. They weigh almost exactly the same, but this one is twice as big. Isn't it weird? And then pulse battery, also 32 gram. All right, so let's hook it up to the computer, check the settings, spin the motors, and just wait a second, almost forgot actually. Just before that, let's connect it and hope it won't blow up. All right, so it is alive. It's beeping and all this stuff, okay. All right, so I've got X-Lite, which is my favorite transmitter now. I've got a pair of tweezers. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hold this button like that and insert the USB. So we hold it like that and we insert it. The solid light over here, you can see it. It means that it is in the binding mode. Then I'm going to power it on.
Welcome to OpenTX.
And go into FR Sky. I'm already there. Going to go up and hit bind. So it's binding like this. You can see it's starting to beep. And I'm using D8 mode for what it's worth, so it's 8 channels. It went off. You can see that light went off. What it means that it is already bound now, and we will just have to power cycle both devices. So I will turn it off like this, cancel, exit from everything, and I will turn it off, and then I'll just turn it back on.
Welcome to OpenTX.
And then I can connect our drone. So it is back connected, and you see it's right away solid. It basically means that it is already bound in this case. We'll go into receiver, and we can see that this is pitch. All channels are mixed up. So what we are going to do then, we will going to switch it to FR Sky, hit save. Now let's compare. This is throttle, yaw. Also the numbers are okay, it's under 1000. Pitch, roll, all works. Let's validate our switches. So this one works, this one works. I will just double check what kind of modes do they have. So they have arm, I don't really need arm. They have angle mode, I don't use it. I will use horizon mode, and I will use it as a default position for this switch. Then they've got failsafe, I don't need it. What I will use will be flip after crash, which I will use the most upper position of this switch. So I'll go here. Then I need buzzer. Where was it? I cannot hear it. Here's the beeper. Okay, we switched it. It goes here. And we hit. It works. You go here into flip after crash. It goes here. And beeper works. So everything seems to work just fine. We'll save it. As the next step, we're going to take it for line of sight test, and then we will do some FPV with it. Let's do it now. All right, so I've got here Ascent 2.5-inch made from Aurora 100 outside in front of me. You can see it is nicely wrapped with a FlexRC strap. So battery is held very nicely and shouldn't slide off or anything. Let's quickly do line of sight test before we'll do FPV. All right, let's arm it. Nice. Wow, not too bad, not too bad. And it's quite it's very quiet actually. Check this out. A bit of wind here now. Flies up so well. It should be fun to rip it. Oh, nice. Let's just I guess try to flip it or something. Flips nicely, and it is in horizon mode right now. All right, we crushed it now. Let's see if it's all in one piece together. Oh, feels and looks just fine. Let's arm it again and see if it still flies. No problems at all. All right. Okay, so let's land it and take it for FPV flight, shall we? Alright, that was awesome, wasn't it? I think this project was a success. I really enjoyed working on it. Just really had to resolder a couple of wires, not a problem at all. Potentially, I think I can change the camera to something like Caddx Rattle, or even Caddx Turtle will work well with it, because there is plenty of space here at the top, so you should be able to fit extra board just fine if you will go with some Nano VTX. I think it looks good, it flies well. You were able to judge it by yourself while looking at line of sight and FPV footage. I would like to request you to leave a comment below and let me know if you have any questions, suggestions. Share your experience with Aurora. What did you do with it? Do you still have it? Is it still in one piece perhaps? And please consider subscribing to my channel. It really helps a lot. It lets me know that you enjoy my videos. And obviously, if you have any other requests, share them in the comments below. I will be glad to accommodate them as well. On that note, see you later.